remember the first time that I had skipped school. This was back in like 2010, 2011. We all wanted to do grown up shit, or at least thought that we were grown. Everyone had a boyfriend, girlfriend, stink, shorty, or whatever you want to call it. But looking back on it, none of us knew what the fuck we was talking about. We were all just playing house with a rotting foundation constructed in a rush. However, that time period did prove to be crucial in forming who we are today. It taught us some of our first lessons in dealing with the complexities of another's emotions while coming to understand our own. Some things you'll never forget, regardless of time passed. And now I know skipping school might have not sounded like the biggest deal to some of you back then, but I had never done anything that went against my mother's teachings. We were only 10 years into living in this country, and outside influences hadn't really infiltrated my mind yet. But that all began to change around the time I had my first real relationship, though. Shorty was from East New York and was the complete opposite of me. From how she talked, to the way that she carried herself, and even how others viewed her person. But what grabbed me the most about it was the advanced level of maturity she seemed to display, mixed with simply not giving a fuck what others thought about her, positive or negative, which I now realize has its benefits and drawbacks, but I digress. So, we was on the phone one day trying to come up with some shit to do like the usual, and the suggestion of skipping was brought up. Now, I remember what I said in the beginning of all this. I was nervous as hell and so desperately wanted to say no. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, it's school. We're supposed to go. What will we do if we get caught? But at the same time, I didn't want to come across as corny or a bitch, so I reluctantly agreed. The potential of pussy mixed with fresh love will have you believing you can breathe in space. And so, we formulated our plan that night. We decided to kick it around Midtown. And I kept asking her what the fuck we was going to do, but that didn't really matter. And that wouldn't be something that I didn't learn until later on in life. She went to school in the city, and I was at Benjamin Banneker. So we'd both be up and out the house by 7:30, 8 a.m. type shit. I went about my routine as per usual that day. Washed my face, cleaned my room, made my breakfast, got dressed, and said bye to moms. But mind you, my mind was doing backflips along my heart by this point, praying that I don't look sus. So I make it down the stairs just before the main door and acted as if I had walked outside, slammed the door and everything. And the next checkpoint to pass is to quietly store my bag. So I looked back up the stairs and stood there in dead silence just to make sure no one was coming. No clue how long I did this for, but it felt like eternity. Eventually, I gathered myself and continued on my mission. There was a bunch of miscellaneous shit behind the door, so as quietly as I could, I stacked all of it on top and around my backpack. Quick little side note, the house is incredibly old, so everything fucking talks. But once finished, I approached and defeated the final boss, being the main door. Me with my little $20 in green and white student metro. And then from that point forth, I was in a fantasy with no grounds as to how I should maneuver. But with every second that went by, I found myself getting more awe and excitement with what I wasn't supposed to be doing. Here I am, I'm supposed to be feeling guilt. I'm supposed to be feeling bad or all this other crazy shit, but I'm liking it. Everything seems so different, as if I'd entered the Badlands. Also, couldn't I have chosen a more corny name for that? But dodging truancy, adults clearly knowing something's up, venturing into a world that I so clearly did not belong, or at least that's what I was thinking. And then,
this is a 207th Street bound A train.
In the next 10 minutes, here's my last chance to go back. There'll be no harm in just going to school, right?
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
The entire train ride, paranoid like a bitch. When you're tripping off shrooms and you think everybody's watching you, judging. And we had planned for her to meet me on one of the train stations along the way. And don't forget, this is before cell phone service on the ground. So I'm tripping by this point. I'm thinking shorty done snitched on me, or that she backed out, all types of craziness is coming through my mind. Now, obviously, she didn't fucking do that, but it's just like, it's my first time doing this kind of shit. So I'm just bugging. But I swear, once those doors opened up and I saw her standing there with her little denim jacket, Levi's, and then she looks at me and like a big ass smile comes on her face, shorty turned me into calm, still water, bro. She looks at me and she's just like, you all right? And after all that trip and all this shit that I've been saying, all the stuff that was going through my fucking mind for however many hours that was, only thing I could find myself saying is, yeah, I'm okay. Let's go. Aren't I lucky share my location didn't exist yet?